people are outraged after seeing North West's performance of young Simba in the 30th anniversary Broadway performance of The Lion King. Now, the reason people are so upset by this is they say it's an example of blatant nepotism. Now, watch this with me and let me know what you think.
I better be the main event. When no king was before, I'm brushing up, I'm looking down, I'm working on my role.
And it's not that her performance is terrible, but that it's just not that great. I mean, this is the type of thing that you'd expect to see at like an elementary school play. When I was...
There's been a lot of buzz about North West's controversial performance in Disney's 30th anniversary celebration of The Lion King. For those who might not know, North West is the daughter of two of the biggest celebrities in the world, Kim Kardashian and Kanye West. With such famous parents, North was always destined to be in the spotlight, but her recent performance as young Simba in The Lion King's 30th anniversary event has thrust her into the center of a heated debate. Now, why was this anniversary such a big deal? Well, The Lion King is one of Disney's most beloved franchises. The original movie, released in 1994, earned over $900 million. The 2021 remake brought in another $1.6 billion, and the Broadway musical has grossed an astonishing $9 billion since 1997. This anniversary was a monumental event held at the Hollywood Bowl, which seats 17,500 people. Naturally, expectations were sky high for this star-studded celebration. So when it was announced that North West would be taking on the role of young Simba, it caught everyone by surprise. North, at just 10 years old, isn't exactly known for her acting or singing prowess, but as we'll discuss, her casting has raised questions about whether her famous family connections played a role in landing her this coveted part. So let's start the main event, North West's performance at the Hollywood Bowl.
Kanye West and Kim Kardashian's daughter North West made her Broadway debut in The Lion King, and the internet is pissed. She played the role of Simba in The Lion King 30th anniversary, and for context, let's take a look at her performance.
As the show began, North West stepped onto the stage as young Simba, a role that has been cherished by fans for decades. Dressed in a costume that some described as overly baggy, North performed "I Just Can't Wait to Be King," one of the most famous songs from the movie. However, some people pointed out that North seemed uncertain on stage, often appearing unsure of her movements and occasionally forgetting where the stage exits were. While her co-stars danced energetically around her, North's movements were more reserved, which some attributed to her cumbersome costume. Despite these critiques, North managed to finish her performance and received a standing ovation from the audience present at the Hollywood Bowl. But the standing ovation inside the bowl didn't translate to unanimous approval. As clips of her performance started circulating on social media, many users on platforms like Twitter and Instagram criticized her singing, describing it as more yelling than singing. They pointed out her lack of experience and questioned why someone so young and untrained was given such a prominent role. Some harsh comments labeled her performance as an example of nepotism at its worst, arguing that she took a spot from a more deserving, talented child.
Performance was first seen, a lot of really talented child actors who had auditioned for the role of young Simba came forward and said how disappointing it is to work really hard at a role and see someone get it who isn't nearly as talented. And let's face it, she really isn't. And in the typical Lion King musical, young Simba wears this, and that outfit matches really well with everyone else around them. And so for North West to come out in this outfit almost just seemed like she could blatantly do whatever she wanted and then just pander to.
This recent controversy has surrounded North West's performance. People have been criticizing her for not having enough experience or skill to play young Simba. They thought her singing was off-key and not up to par for such a big production like The Lion King's 30th anniversary. Some even said she seemed unsure on stage and lacked confidence. One of the biggest complaints is that North got the role because of nepotism. People think it's unfair because there are other talented kids who have worked really hard for opportunities like this. They're calling her a nepo baby and saying she only got the part because of her famous family. To make matters worse, some people have pointed out other 10-year-olds who are incredibly talented. These young Broadway stars have blown audiences away with their singing, dancing, and acting skills. Comparing them to North's performance just makes the accusations of nepotism even stronger. There are even rumors that Kim Kardashian paid off Disney to get North the role. People are saying Kim used her influence and money to make sure her daughter got to be a part of this important event. This has caused a lot of outrage from those who believe in fair competition based on talent. The production company behind the anniversary event, Fullwell 73 Productions, has a connection to the Kardashians. They're the same company responsible for the Kardashian family's reality TV show. This has raised suspicions about the legitimacy of North's casting. People think that because of Kim's relationship with the production company, they just gave North the role without any auditions or evaluations. Some sources even claim that North didn't have to compete for the part like other girls. They say she was guaranteed the role because of her family's connections and her ability to attract media attention. This has upset not only fans but also parents of other talented children who auditioned thinking they had a fair shot. An anonymous source said that North was cast because she would generate headlines. They wanted to use her to get more attention and media coverage for the event. This tactic is seen as a way for Disney to get more viewers and for the Kardashians to have more content for their reality show. But it also supports the argument that North's casting was more about publicity than talent.
It's clear that people like North West are getting a role not because they're singing, not because they're acting, but just because of nepotism. I think that's where people...
Now, it's been reported that behind-the-scenes footage of North's performance will be shown on an episode of The Kardashians. This is seen as a win-win for both Disney and the Kardashians. Disney gets more publicity, and the Kardashians get more content for their show. But it also adds to the argument that North's casting was more about media strategy than her actual talent. All these allegations have made people feel like the casting process was unfair and took away opportunities from more deserving young talents. Even if North has a genuine interest in performing, the way she got the role has overshadowed any potential she might have. It has also sparked a debate about how much influence celebrity parents should have in their children's careers, especially when it affects others' chances. Some folks have also shared their reaction to North West's performance as young Simba. A parent of an auditioning child posted on Facebook, "My daughter has been training for years and didn't get a call back. Then I see North West on stage without any real experience. It's disheartening for all the kids who work so hard." Another comment read, "North sounded like she was yelling, not singing. This is what happens when you let fame and money speak louder than talent." A third user pointed out, "It's one thing to support your child, but it's another to buy them roles they aren't qualified for. This just takes opportunities away from deserving kids."
The problem is with nepotism. North West is not a trained singer and she's just totally not there yet. I'm sure one day she will be, but only because of the success of her parents does she have opportunities like this. So people are mad about it because she's taking jobs away from hard-working artists that could have been in her place. The performance sounded more like an elementary school musical than a Hollywood Bowl production. Now, if you went and saw this performance, you had to have known that North West would be performing. So if you didn't have a good time, it's kind of on you.
To make things even more controversial, it's been reported that North didn't rehearse with the rest of the cast like the other young performers. Instead, she did most of her rehearsals at home. The family wanted privacy and control over the whole thing. While it might have been convenient for the Kardashians, it raised a lot of eyebrows and made people question their professionalism. This whole situation brings up the issue of nepotism in the entertainment industry. It's always been a hot topic, and this incident just adds fuel to the fire. When roles are given out based on who you know instead of talent, it's not fair to all the other talented people out there who don't have famous connections. For North, this experience could have a big impact on her future. Being in the spotlight at such a young age, especially in a controversial way, can really mess with your head. The criticism and backlash she's faced might affect her self-esteem and how she feels about performing. If she wants to keep pursuing a career in entertainment, this early experience could either motivate her or make things really tough depending on how she and her family handle it. Kim is putting too much pressure on North and throwing her into the public eye at such a young age. Casting her in a big role without a proper audition might seem like a supportive parent move, but it also exposes her to a lot of scrutiny and potential criticism that could be harmful. But what do you guys think about North West's performance? Do you believe the criticism she received was fair? And what about the allegations of nepotism and the claims that Kim Kardashian paid to secure North's role? Do you think it's right for parents to use their influence to create opportunities for their children in this way? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video and want to stay updated on all the latest celebrity controversies and industry insights, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel.